Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Have the Race Gone for the penultimate round of the TSR GT86 Cup. We're here at Fuji yet again. We've been a lot at Fuji here lately on the channel in our GT Sport ventures, so to say. We've been here for the IGTL Summer Championship Series finale, and we've been here for the Nuke Shot Endurance Series multi-class race. Well, it's one make yet again. It's the GT86 Cup, of course, as mentioned before, and it's a hell of a show. I think, at least, it's gonna be. It's looking that way. It's been great racing throughout this season, and there isn't really anything to think that tonight is gonna be anything different. We've got, well, close to full grid for the race, as far as I can see. And we've got some very strong drivers on the grid as well. We've got Ryan for the TSR squad. Ryan, who's in the top 10 of a daily this week, as far as rumors go. I think I haven't seen it by myself, but it's out there on the internet. Look it up. We've got Alex Buncombe yet again, hopefully this time he read the rules. I think Welsh did a bit of a job making sure that he was aware of the rules with just a single set of tires. Halbstag is here again in the coffee car, and am I glad to see that. What a pleasure. And of course, evening and hello to you early joiners. Swablu is here, and nice to see you as well. And I am well again. And that was it was like a 36-hour flu. It wasn't that much of a round. Quickly over with, and there's some carnage going on in front of Halbstag here. Anyways, let's go on with the grid, because there are plenty more drivers. We've got the one and only Morten as we speak about him. He's there in chat. Morten from the TSR squad, he's there as well. In the cam hatch mobile. Splurge is here as well in that very nice Logitech Toyota. That's a beautiful livery. We've got Engrosso here as well for Netso Racing, as well as Schosse, if I'm not completely mistaken, going for P5 in the Subaru. Of course, it is T5 Black, the Swedish survivor. We have Aura as well for TX3, and then in the pits at the moment, Stig and Jimmy of the TSR boys. We have Limitless of TX3 fame. Dr. Hash is in the pits as well, alongside Sparks, the fast boy in the very Japanese Denso machine here at Toyota. Of course, with the TRD decals there. Schosse hanging out in the pits as well. Same goes for Splurge and Welsh. And that is the full 15 car grid for tonight. So it's looking to be quite the show. And just a couple of minutes to go until we get the qualifying session underway. It's supposed to be here at 1:45, so that's in, well, just about 2 minutes time from now. Qualifying, of course, being a one-shot Super Pole session. And as always, it's 2 times fuel, and the tire degradation, well, that's been a varying factor between 3 times and 4 times. We're running 4 times tonight, so don't expect the softs to last for too long. As everybody's BOP is being kept in check. Here is Halbstag. So Alex Buncombe with us yet again, and it should be said, Alex Buncombe, a real racing driver that it is. And let's see how him and Jimmy get along this week. And speaking of the son, Jimmy, nice to have you along. Same goes for Ethan. What a pleasure, gentlemen. It is always nice to have some lovely heads along for the racing. Enjoying my bit of late coffee before it gets too late, but having realized over the final couple of races where I tried not having coffee. That don't work out for me, especially not in the evening time. The old boy gets sleepy all of a sudden, and that is no good for commentating on racing. Jimmy, be good. Please. No, you boys behave. But let's just go over the championship standings as we're getting in, just running into the qualifying session here. It is Schosse leading with 100 points. We have Aura in second with 78. Dr. Hash is in third with 56. Stick in fourth with 51. Then Martin with 49. Obi-Wan, who's now Limitless. I think that is... No, Limitless is further down. Anyway, Obi-Wan with 41. Joe of the Fire, the Jotsu guy who's been racing here as well, is on 39. T5 on 38. And then, well, we've had participation of a lot of drivers. And I've mentioned this before, but we're looking in and have been saving up and have been getting donations. And I can say that this month, fingers crossed, because I've moved to a new schedule of payment with my new job. So there's some money coming in, and hopefully that'll be it for getting the Elgato, to moving the streams to the PC and being able to bring you some goddamn overlays on screen, some intros, some music, some... Ooh, there's gonna be a lot of good stuff and some things we can pop in. It's gonna be a lot more dank as well. I think I can guarantee you that. But anyways, especially that point about championship standings, grid orders, stuff like that we could do. That would be... yeah. That would be the bomb. But so as mentioned a moment ago, we're getting closer to qualifying session, and it is a one-shot Super Pole qualifying session, which means just a single lap to make do with. One golden lap, so it's all about, well, how much are you gonna push? Certainly you don't want to do as Jimmy's done here. Jimmy was here with a new livery. Very, very Japanese, very, I also have to say it's kind of got some kind of Fast and the Furious vibe to it, even if Jimmy will like it or not with the color shift. It's very JDM, but I like it. It looks cool indeed. The Chameleon, what is up? Rotary, nice to have you along. Welcome and good evening. I hope you are well. You've joined just in time, just before qualifying. Qualifying delayed it by a minute or two. And Grosso is helloing the stream. Well, the stream shall hello and Grosso as well. Qualifying is getting underway, and it's just a single lap as mentioned before. And we're gonna take note on which drivers are qualifying upon which tires. Now have a look to the left of your screen here. Jimmy on the softs, well, he went out of there quickly. Splurge on the mediums. We have Schosse on the hards. We have T5 on the mediums. Most of the drivers seeming to opt to qualify on the mediums, though. Aura there on the softs as well. They're gonna have to punch out a little bit. Buncombe as well on the softs. So they're gonna be starting on the same compound of tire that they qualify on, and that is something that could, and it has proven to be pivotal. And it's been a bit back and forth actually to what's been the fastest way. We've seen some drivers having great success qualifying on the hards, then running pretty strongly in the mid-pack, then being able to finish on the softer compounds. But we've also seen the exact opposite on multiple occasions with a fast runner, qualifying on the softs, running away early race, never to be seen again later on. So what's it going to be this time around? Very, very interesting. Actually, for once, I'm just going to throw it on to see which types of tires have been used throughout the field. Here's Schosse for Netto Racing. It's on the hards yet again. We've seen this before. Hash on the medium. Same goes for Jimmy, Splurge, Welsh, T5, Sparks as well on the mediums. So a lot of drivers there on the mediums qualifying. Limitless on the hards as mentioned. Aura, I think we saw that before. He's on the softs. Stick is on the hards as well. It's interesting. Martin was on the mediums, then Ingrosso on the hards as well. Buncombe, as we mentioned as well, on the softs. Then Halbstack on hards and Ryan on softs, and that's about it. Be gone, graphic. So with that said, the first couple of drivers are on their flying laps, and Schosse has put himself in a perfect position trying to follow Dr. Hash around. It's going to be some important slipstreaming on this lap here. And Hash seeming to have some pretty good pace. The next round of cars, that's Jimmy, Splurge and Welsh, I think. Good evening, Ollie Polly. You've tuned in just in time for qualifying. So here we have the first couple of cars. Well, I just thought it was the first couple of cars crossing the line to complete the flying laps. Well, I was wrong so many times before. That was just the last couple of cars that was entering the flying lap series. Dr. Hash goes wide through the final sector. I don't think it's going to cost a penalty necessarily, but it certainly is going to compromise the run through there. It's going to gift the slipstream, I think, to Schosse. It might be a little bit too far back to really make gains, but it isn't going to be a bad time necessarily. Let's see, Hash crosses the line in a 1:43.5. The first to set a time, and Schosse is actually faster with a 1:43.2. And now they come quick and fast. Welsh on top of standings now with a 1:42 dead. Jimmy in second. That's a 1:42.3, but only for so long, because look what's happening. Aura and Sparks dipping into the 41s. And then further down, that was Stick qualifying 5th. And then 6th now on the hard tires. That's certainly interesting. Buncombe now, provisional pole, 1:41 dead. That's quite a bit away ahead. They do seem to enjoy a little bit of wreckfest down at turn 1. There's still a couple of cars to go. Let's see, that's both Halbstack and Ryan. Halbstack really doesn't want to give Ryan the tow. Seems to know that the lap is going to be off pace, but what was it for TSR Ryan? That was second fastest, 3/10 though. 3/10 off of time set by Alex Buncombe, but Ryan goes second in front of. Well, let's just have a look. Actually, here it is, the standings exactly. Ali Pali. This has more or less just started the qualifying session. Well, they've been practicing on stream for 10 minutes. I think they've been practicing for about a half an hour's time before that. And we'll just have a look at the qualifying session. Here you can see the tires as well, which is interesting to note. And as mentioned, yes, they do have to start on the compound that they qualify on here. So that usually makes for some interesting stuff, especially over the last couple of races. And mind you, it's Some of these drivers also running with some ballast from earlier races. And yes, Rapid Gator, you are on point. We're about 5 minutes away from race start, so I don't think it could be much better. You're looking at the qualifying results, so have a look, and let's just have a look, and a good look, because I feel like at times I've just missed really paying enough attention to what types of tires the different drivers were starting upon. It's been such a pivotal point in the strategy of the different drivers in the races and such. So I feel like this time around, have a closer look and try to really memorize who is doing what. And it's also really proving that nobody's really able to make big inroads. I mean, the only one really had a bad lap, it seemed, was a very, very good Sector 1 though. And then Stick there in 9th. Bit of the standout on the hards with a 1:42.8. That's certainly a fast lap as well for him. Good point, Ollie Polly. We could do it as well. I could also just use the time here as the drivers are mucking about to just talk about it instead. Try to be a professional. So only 3 drivers on the softs for the opening stint. Must mean that the drivers aren't having the biggest amount of confidence that the softs will last for a whole long time here at Fuji. Of course, going medium early does give for a little bit more flexibility in the race. And what we've also seen is that it doesn't necessarily take that long for the mediums to kind of catch up to the hards as the hards are degrading, or the softs as of course are degrading. Do we have someone going the wrong way? Oh no, that's just Ryan. He's spinning it. But anyway, as we have all the drivers wreck festing about, I guess that's the new term for it. Although we've had wreckfests between qualifying and race since before wreckfest was a thing here on Half the Race Gone. Hashtag originators. And I think it's going to be a good one indeed. Oh, we do have the odd one out. The reverse runner. Oh, aiming the ghost. The sways. He's going to make something out of clay alongside a lady soon. Good evening and welcome to everyone who's joined in here during qualifying. After qualifying, we're getting ready to race and we're getting close to the start of affairs as well. Interesting to note that the championship leader Schosse is opting to start on the hard tires yet again. Had really good success actually with that strategy at Brands Hatch. Didn't have the best of races then at Bathurst. That was also a very interesting race as somebody comes flying in through from one angle then from the other. What a fest. What's up there, Ron? Nice to have you along. I see the chat getting bang. Welsh as well. What's up, Sky? Hello, hello. We're getting ready to race, and shouldn't be too long before we get them underway. I think everyone is more or less ready. It's only Buncombe hanging out in the pits. That's a nice shot. Let's keep this for a moment. I actually raced Max Verstappen in iRacing as I'm brushing and dirting off my shoulders. It's no shit. And I actually raced him twice over a couple of days because I was off work and he was doing some races in, well, late in the morning and stuff like that. I guess where he had the time, and we weren't in the same class, so I was just getting lapped in a GT3. He was in a GT, so with all due respect. But so that 3 compounds on the go indeed, Welsh. But that said, I have yet to race either the Jimu Broadband, Jimmy Broadband, the guy with the fast internet. Oh, and the race has started. So all jokes aside, let's get it on in just about, well, now-ish. We're gonna have the race start sequence appearing, and then now is the grid order. And have a quick look at it, because it isn't there for too long. You can just have a glance. And it's Ryan on pole in front of Aura, Sparks, Welch, Martin, Jimmy. Then T5 and Stick, first of the hard qualifiers for the race start here. And as the red lights are gonna go green, the drivers are gonna go off, and they're gonna go off, let's hopefully not, but they're getting off here, off the line. Well, it's Ryan keeping position, it seems. Getting away very well, Sparks in second, Aura dropping down, and then there's a lunge, it seems, from Welch. And they're gonna go 3 wide through turn 1. And it seems everybody getting through amazingly indeed. Of course, the 86s, not the biggest of machines. And Fuji a wide track indeed. Oh, but here though, at turn 3, some cars running wide. Welsh now up into second place, Aura in third with Sparks in fourth place. It's Martin fifth, Jimmy in sixth, then Stick and T5. And here is Aura getting into some trouble on the inside there, losing a lot of space. Then further down the order, who's that? Alex Buncombe. Fighting it out, Alex Buncombe. Now what has happened? Dropping down the order now in 11th place. On the outside here, getting a squeeze in the battle against Splurge. Not having picked up any damage, and I don't think that we saw any particular on pole to last. Well, what happened there? Navigator, they don't have to use all 3 compounds. Well, let's have another look at the start from the lap before here. I might have a challenge here from Aura. Make sure that we don't miss anything here earlier on. We're on board with the LDLC car. TX3 Aura, is that team? No, that's very much LDLC indeed. mean you're always wrong, just that you're sometimes wrong, but that's the life of a commentator here. Buncombe up into 8th place, and that's Jimmy. Oh, that's Jimmy really missing the brake marker. And that's gonna give himself last place, and we're gonna go to the replay of the start indeed to be gentle on Jimmy indeed. Look at that 3 wide here from the wang cam of TSR Ryan. A little bit of a notch there from Aura, of course, to the Denso machine of Sparks. Martin in 5th place, getting a good run as well. But a very clean start, it has to be said. TSR Ryan really with the gap here. Welsh holding on to 2nd, and it's really a scrap down there for 3rd, as the TX3 drivers are really going at each other. And the question is, Sparks suffer a little bit on those opening couple of laps, now stuck behind Aura, who's also on the softs. Welsh, I think, is, if I'm not completely mistaken, actually up here on the mediums indeed. That's a very strong position. to be in further down the order. It's Martin and Stick really hanging on to that. He's in 6th place. He's on the hard compound series. He's getting swallowed up by Alex Buncombe, charging up through the field, having made it up to 6th place already, but on the soft, so you would expect Buncombe to really have to do something with it here early on, and certainly getting his money worth. On lap 3 now, it's T5 in 8th place, Dr. Hash there in 9th. In 10th, it's Splurge, and then further down here is the Hard Runners. There's a battle down here as well with Schosse, Limitless, and then it's Halbstark down here, and Grosso and Jimmy. Halbstark, who's on the hards as well. Jimmy on the mediums after that turn 1 mishap before lose that much time. Just gonna be having a lot of overtaking to do for himself, the Scotsman, as Halbstark and then Grosso still go side by side. I think the coffee car obviously is gonna get the best run out here, down towards the right-hander, and through Halbstark goes now. Let's go back up to TSR Ryan out in front. Got a little bit squabbly through the final technical bit here, and that final corner exit so important, but with a 2.4 second gap, and with GT Welsh on the mediums clocking up the other soft runners behind, you'd have to think Aura, Sparks, they need to get past. They need to get that clean air in front of them. And it's going to be interesting to see for how long Welsh can actually keep these two at bay. Gets a little bit of squirm as he gets a rear wheel onto that very slippery AstroTurf on the outside of turn 1. Here we're on board with Sparks. 4th place chasing TX3 Aura. Through that very long sweeping turn 4, and then the heartbreaking zone. The zone of breaking hearts into turn 5. Yet another, albeit this time much easier, sweeper. That is turn 6, and then the right hand turn 7, that, as you can see, pretty easy to go off on. But Mud and Fuji, a lot of runoff, and it's all tarmac except for turn 1 more or less. Alex Buncombe has now gotten the better of Martin as well, and is up into 5th place. So Alex Buncombe really on a charge, and only 5.2 seconds down. And indeed, let's see what Schosse can make of it, carrying all that ballast. There's T5 Black in 8th place, chasing down Stick, seeming to a little bit of trouble holding on to track position on the hard tires. Dr. Hash following along nicely. And those are at the front of hard affairs, so to say, at the moment. That's a good move from T5. Let's have another look here into turn 1. They come. There's no real defending that on the harder compound tires there on the outside for Stick. Cleanly through as the German Dr. Hash comes charging along. He's going to try to send it. That's going to be a cutback move on the outside on the exit of turn 5. Though I think Stick just timed that perfectly. Used all of the curb to just get the run on the German. Those two really close at the moment. Now back up. Welsh is beginning to make now some small dents into the advantage of Ryan. Very wide though here under pressure from Aura. He's now got a little bit of gap down to Sparks as well. Sparks, who's beginning to see some Alex Buncombe in his mirrors as well. fixed? Is it fixed? Like match fixing fixed? No, the fixed, yeah, it's fixed setups. And it's the BOP is 100, 100, so it's a little different from driving these cars on BOP. Ryan deliberately going fast. That's nothing new. That's what he usually does here. Martin doing a good job of holding on to this front end train as well. And on a personal best as well. And then there's a gap down to T5 stick and the rest of that bunch in behind. And it's not that they haven't been spread out ever so slightly. And it's Ryan on a charge. And here it's Aura still just looking for a way past on GT Welsh. And I think the Germans just might have found it. Oh, Welsh still with some overlap there, fighting for position. And I think the running wide there is going to seal the deal as Aura goes up the inside and goes through as well. But close battling here. We are going to have another look though. So just see if Welsh is falling directly into the claws of Buttle Sparks, who's done a good job of not bottling it there. As Alex Buncombe though comes with a major send up the inside. It's going to compromise his own exit though in the end. Sparks almost bottling it yet again. And hey David, nice to have you along as well. Cheering for Netso Racing. Oh, look at that move. Just trading a little bit of pain. Welsh insisting, no, I am still here. You shall not pass. But in the end, getting a little too hot. Almost coming across Aura there. Aura wisely holding back, holding off, and still status quo. All this squabbling in behind is of course just aiding TSR Ryan out in front, as right now these are just fighting for scraps and ultimately for second place if they don't find something to do, some way to do something about the young Brit who's running away at the moment out in front, as Alex Buncombe now having the run on Sparks. Well, we just I thought for a second that it was happening, but it was the long way around on the outside and it just wasn't to be. And well, this series, we don't think we've had a bad race here. I think it's Welsh actually trying to send up through this final sector. On the mediums, are they beginning to work for the Welshman now? Compared to the softs here, Welsh getting a little squiggly on the exit. They're still also close to Slipstream's gonna do a strong job here, I think. Aura got a very bad run from the final corner. Look at that worm, the snake, that's happening. And they're gonna go too wide, at least, if not more, into turn one. Let's see. Alex Buncombe, is he gonna go aggressive into it? No, he just holds off. And actually, doesn't look like anything really is gonna happen. In the end though, Buncombe did get the better of Sparks in that situation. That's actually quite interesting. And then Alex Buncombe on the inside there. Buttle Sparks was locked all the way on the outside, and there wasn't really any way he could defend that position whatsoever. What's up, Fair? Oh, nice to have you along. This is the GT86 Cup by the lads at TSR, and well, it's been running for some time now. It's just round 7 of 8. And right now, it's TSR Ryan, who's opened up a 4.1 second advantage to TX3 Aura, and from there it's still a tight squabble in behind. Welsh, the TSR driver, really doing a good job of holding on to, well, what is now 3rd place in front of Alex Buncombe, and Buttle Sparks being there for so long that those medium tires should be getting more and more competitive by now. At least, so I would expect them to. In 5th place here, last in this snake in the train is Bottle Sparks as they come down towards turn 1. Aura is gonna attempt to hold off GT Welsh, and that might open the door for Alex Buncombe, who does have a good deal of overlap, though it's Welsh on the inside who ends up actually attacking Aura into turn 3, and Aura on the softs is gonna go very wide, and it's all gonna kick off here. We're gonna go on board with Sparks, not the WAN cam please, but the front facing so we can actually see what's happening. They're absolutely going at it here in the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place. Good question at the moment, Rabbit Gator. It is Dr. Hash, I think, who's running in 8th place. Now, we shan't be shouldn't be feeling cheated for a WAN cam. So here it is, a WAN cam, and looky look, that's the Dutchman TSR Martin appearing from in behind. All the battling, of course, slowing these cars down. Evening to GTR here to send from Buncombe yet again, but it isn't gonna have any real effect. They're gonna be aiming for the run on Welsh in front. Just seems it isn't really happening. Let's see down here in 8th place. It's Dr. Hash defending from Splurge, and alongside there is Stick as well. Mind you, only 3 of those drivers in front actually started on the softs, if I'm not completely mistaken. That's Stick hitting in. Hash was on the mediums. I thought Hash was on the hards, to be honest. Well, that just goes to show. Stick there on the hards. It's changing to the mediums. Hash getting out there from the pits on the hard compound tires. Perhaps trying to undercut the opposition here. That might be what's going on. Ryan, though, running away with it at the moment on the soft. Those softs getting well worn there. And Alex Buncombe is now up into 2nd place. And I think Sparks just following along there behind. Getting past on Welsh as well. Martin is in 5th place, and Aura having had some kind of problem. Aura having fallen way down the order, down into 6th now. T5 is up into 7th. Then Splurge, of course, in 8th after the pit stops there from Dr. Hash and Stick. Splurge also on the mediums. Then it's Limitless, Halstack, Jimmy, and the rest of the bunch further down the order here. And that'll be the first guy on the hards, then Limitless at the moment. Ryan is indeed on the softs. But that advantage is really beginning to fall away. I feel like Ryan must have had some kind of problem somewhere. It doesn't seem like it's right there though, but the advantage is bleeding away. So Sparks is on the mediums. That's impressive pace from Sparks to pull off. Running on the mediums pretty much at the same pace as the soft front runners here. Now also running away from Welsh and Martin. And Ryan is now getting caught. So that 4-second advantage fell away very quickly indeed. Look at that last lap time. 1:45.2 from TSR Ryan. That is a lap too much on those softs, and Alex Buncombe is now all over his behind. That's an early send. They're gonna go too wide. I don't think there's gonna be any defending this from Ryan. Well, in the first, he actually manages to hold off Alex Buncombe, but let's see. It's gonna be hard for the final corner as well. There's another send. And that's a very nice move from Alex Buncombe indeed. From the lap before. Let's just have a look on board with Mr. Buncombe here. Cleanly done. Ryan trying to get a run into turn 1. I don't think it's gonna really work out. Oh, and who's that? Who went off? Oh, that's Welsh. That's Welsh going off. Was that a bit of a punt from Martin there? Really sure it doesn't look like it. Could just be that he out-braked himself in that situation. Not quite sure actually. Still, Martin didn't get through on him, so it's Alex Buncombe now leading TSR Ryan and Bottle Sparks, who's really just aiming to get through as well on Ryan here into turn 7. And this is where you should have a grip advantage by now on those much fresher mediums. Ryan with the early pace, but not really able to make the tires last. That it is. Rapid Gator, that it is. It's exactly what it is. Here comes Bottle Sparks up the inside and aims for a very good exit. I think there's no defending that. He does have the run. Now this straight is, however, long enough that Sparks could in turn be able... Oh, that's the pit stop coming from Ryan. That's actually a pretty good idea, I think. As his lap times have seriously dropped off. And now what tires are gonna come on? Seems it's gonna be a 2-stopper for everyone here. Martin's in as well. Pretty early on the mediums, I must say. Whoa, he's picked up some damage, so that explains. Could actually have had contact with Welsh. Might very well have been, and Martin comes out on the hard tires in around 10th place. It is. Oh, there's a big send. Who's that going straight on? That's Limitless. Ooh, just as the camera is looking. Straight on into turn 1. That's cost a position or 2 here. Now Alex Buncombe with a 2.2 second lead, and Bottle Sparks getting wide on the exit of turn 7. It's not the first time we've seen anyone go wide there, but yes, you can, Ethan. Yes, you can. They should be on. They should be. Oh, like, oh yeah. I'll send them to you after the broadcast on El Discord. I have him, and if I don't have him, Martin has him. We'll get him. We'll get him for you. Welsh is now in 3rd place after the pit stop of Ryan, of course. Aura in 4th, hanging on to those softs, making them work for a little bit longer, being a little bit more conservative, it seems. And then it's T5, and guess what place he has at the moment? He's in B5. Ryan there came out in 6th place, now running on the mediums. Splurge 7, then Halfstack, Stick. Martin in front of Stick, and then Dr. Hash a little further down, of course, right in front of these guys. It is Halfstack. Here is Hash, then Jimmy Exen in the pits there, just about in front of Schosse. Schosse, who's made his first pit stop as well, and is now on something that's gonna work a little better, I think, for Schosse. Now on the mediums in 13th place, 36 seconds down. But of course, Alex Buncombe and some of these other drivers have yet to make their own first pit stops as well. That it really would, Rapid Gator. Maybe Ethan could reach out to him. Sorry, that's a bit of an inside joke though. But we've got me being a little bit hoarse now, and then we've got Alex Buncombe entering the pits. Just doing a wall scrape, a classic Fuji wall scrape, because for some magical means that wall doesn't count for anything. A pit stop. That should be a fresh set of mediums. We're not gonna know it is a fresh set of mediums for Alex Buncombe. Oh, look at that, Alex Buncombe getting out right in front of Ryan. Somehow the cameras here managed not really to catch that aspect of things. I'm gonna look here with the onboard view from TSR Ryan. Look at all the speed he's carrying into the braking zone. Oh, that's so close indeed. They don't come much closer than that, but Alex Buncombe is ahead following the pit round for both of the drivers. And such, he'll be on fresher tires. Be able to stretch those mediums for that little bit longer. Out in front, it's now Sparks in the lead of Aura, and Aura and Welsh still going at it. Aura trying to hang on to those softs, I think, might be suffering by now. Might be suffering, I think indeed is an understatement, going wide once and then really having no grip whatsoever. That looks like a suffering German indeed. I'd expect to see Aura pitting in here. There's a bit of a flash, but no sign of pinning in. I'm a little surprised to see that in the end. T5 now up into 4th place, but really in a good position as well. And then Buncombe and TSR Ryan still close to one another. Splurge pitting in here. Lap 15 of the 46 that we have to do. Halbstag battling Martin for 8th place at the moment. The Coffee Mobile has yet to really make an impact. And that looks like a regular old disconnect from Splurge. Rest in peace, instant connection of Splurge. We're gonna see no more of that lovely black and blue Logitech machine. What a big shame that is. We see some respectful Fs for our disconnecting lad. Aura still 3rd there, and the Swedish survivor having made it up into 4th place. You have to wonder for how long T5 is planning to keep the machine running. The mediums looks pretty fine for the Swede indeed. They're really getting caught by Alex Buncombe quickly. He's also putting time into Ryan. Oh, Ryan getting the exit here. And then in 7th place at the moment is Stick. And then in front of Martin Halbstag, Jimmy up into 10th. After that early mistake and having switched to the softs, having made the first pit stop. That's interesting. Oh, that might be, I think, not just might be, that's Halbstag with the whoa. Quite the send indeed. And is it then this time around the send from Halfstack? It certainly is. Oh, my, that's just outbreaking both himself and everyone else in that situation. And Halfstack nearly taking out Martin in the process. Martin, who's already picked up damage once, and sure he wouldn't like to do so again. That much I think is certain. And Jimmy taking the advantageous position of just cruising right through in that situation as well. Now chasing Stig in 7th place. Further up the order, of course, it's Ryan and Alex Buncombe, with T5 now pitting in from 4th. Now let's see where the Swedish survivor is going to be rejoining. Here it is in 7th place. And that means it's Stick moving up into 6th in that the Aqua machine. I gotta love the half a shark mouth that's been made into the livery. Stick running on the medium compound. And if that's the original set of mediums that Stick been running all the way through, that is some good work to keep those running. Hey, YouTube ads. Nice. Oh, hello, Splurge. My PC is also my laptop. The laptop I use for chat and stuff is also really suffering. So I'm fighting to get my tablet to do the job, which it is now doing. So there we are. Let's go back to the race leaders. It's still Bottle Sparks. And it's with a 5.2 second advantage down to Welsh in 2nd. Alex Buncombe creeping up the order now, knocking on the back door of the Welshman in front. Well, that's always disappointing to get taken out by, well, I think that's the Simracing equivalent of a mechanical problem. Technical difficulties, can you say that here? As Alex Buncombe actually got passed on Welsh while I was trying to figure out that chat stuff. That was with an outside move through turn 5 there. That's a very, very well composed move from Alex Buncombe, who's now gonna go ahead and try to make some inroads into the advantage there held by Bottle Sparks at the moment. Doing so very quickly, it has to be said. But I don't know, Ethan. I don't have any real monitoring of myself. I have just been sick, so I don't still have a little bit of stuff in there. Oh, as Alex Buncombe has a little bit of a moment. Or was that just a lag spike? I'm not sure. Looked funky. As Welsh is now back in the good old situation, defending from Aura. Something we've seen before. Aura, who sails wide on the exit there of turn 5. And yet again finding the way through on the Welshman in front. A difficult one to find. Question is, Aura still running those original softs? Is that an aim to do a one-stop strategy on the softs and mediums for Aura? That's very interesting indeed. Aura 7 seconds down on Sparks in the lead, with the opportunity to really go up and to have a big advantage with the tires later on in the race. Still staying out though. Falling into the clutches really though of Ryan. Here is Alex. No, that's of course Bottle Sparks in, and that's the first stop for Sparks as well. And the question is it gonna be the softs coming on, or is it gonna be a short stint on the hards? It is gonna be a short stint on the hards. Aura did come in as well. So that's gonna be a heavy load of fuel. And out rejoining in 11th place, but on the mediums I'm sure that's gonna be enough fuel to take Aura all the way to the line. I think that is an attempt to actually one-stop this race. That's an interesting one indeed. Possessed. Yeah, been watching too much Lord of the Rings lately. So now we've got Alex Buncombe in the lead by around 5 seconds. Seems to really quickly be expanding the gap down to Welch in second. It's Ryan in third. Sparks is now fourth, although 8 seconds down on the drivers in front. Jimmy is up into 5th place, running the softs at the moment. That's impressive stuff. Stick in 6th, and those two are having a good old-fashioned go at each other at the moment here through the final sector. And it's Jimmy holding on to what's then P4. It's G5 in P6 at the moment. Martin is in 7th. Schosse having really flown under the radar, but is gaining positions and is in 8th position. 19 seconds down by now. That was 36 last time we checked, so that's not bad at all. Aura is in 10th at the moment. That just became 9th. That's just because the leader left. Well, okay. Didn't really expect that, but now we have a new lead battle going on here between Welsh and Ryan, and it's a close one indeed as they exit turn 5. Absolutely side by side, but it's with Ryan running the inside line. And braking very late indeed. I think Welsh might actually get the run here. That's good racecraft from the Welshman indeed. Onto the wang cam we go for the final look. Absolutely bumper to bumper racing this. As Ryan this time around just aiming for the exit and getting it as well. Just about nowhere to go, but finds the space and looks to be coming back at Welch. Yes, Rabbit, I am very much afraid that's what just happened. When that's the confirmation. To be fair, he finished the race last time he was in here, but yeah, I don't know. could be all sorts of reasons. That's not up for me to judge. Here, Jimmy and Stick going at it. And that's, of course, Jimmy and Sparks, actually. So Jimmy, having gone from being all the way at the back, is now fighting his way up through the field. 6 seconds down on the lead duo. That's not bad at all. This time around, well, still just no space to get around on Bottle Sparks here. Mind you, Jimmy's on the softs at the moment, so a little bit of an advantage in the direction of the Scotsman. A bit of manslaughter in this race, given that we had 15 starters. Now Welsh pitting in. Oh, that's that original set of mediums. Those have been lasting a very long time indeed for GT Welsh. Question is, halfway through on a set of completely burned mediums, what do you do now? That's the question. On with the softs, and out we go in 10th place. So that isn't really that optimal for Welsh in the end. To come out P10. Ryan still leading. Still leading. Ryan, of course, leading after that battle with Welsh before on the mediums now, and on a pretty good strategy it seems, as we've just passed the halfway point of the race. Hashtag real burp, as we've been going on for about 40 minutes now. Look at this, Sparks and Jimmy still going at it side by side through the final corner. And on to the start-finish straight. And it's Jimmy with the run in the end, just having picked up that slipstream this time around. I don't think there's going to be any defending this from Sparks. Well, it's all about breaking the latest. Jimmy with the soft tires here, they're still too wide. And he's still going for defending it. And you know what? If he can keep the overlap and the inside line, oh, he's gonna be breaking off on the entrance there to turn 3. And that's gonna give it to TSR Jimmy in the end, up into 2nd place. Hello, Traels. What a pleasure to have you along in the Chatterinos. The battling is good today. We're on board with the Stick in the aqua. the water machine. The water. And on some good pace it seems for the time being as well. P4 just 6.3 seconds down, but it's really still all to play for. Mind you, we've had a couple of those starting on the hards who are now really making their way up through the field. And that's namely, of course, Schosse. And can I just say as well, I felt so bad at the end when we finished that race, the Petit Le Mans. I really felt sick. I felt like I was gonna crash the car badly if I kept on driving. I'm so glad I got out of it because I really felt bad. And I tried to stay awake and just follow the stream, and I just couldn't. I just went out. Here's Jimmy's pitting in, Shots is pitting in as well. That's gonna be an early crossover to the softs for Shots, about 20 laps of running there. But anyways, I rewatched the stream Traels and it was absolutely insane. Oh my god. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. I'm so proud of that result for the team, for all of us. I think we did rather well, to be honest. Oh yeah, get on. Indeed. That should be a 15-second stop and go penalty right there. Let's see how many unsafe pit exits we can collect over the final bit of the race. I remember in the TSR Super GT when we actually ran with those things, I picked up a penalty or two in a TSR series when we were racing these ourselves from an unsafe pit exit. Sparks holding on to second place under pressure though from Stick, still running the mediums. The question is, Stick did Stick just run like this all the way through? Is this Stick going for a one-stopper? If it is, it was good indeed, Traels. It was. That's Morten pitting in from P6, 7-ish. He's gonna go on to the softs for the final 20 laps of running. No damage this time around for our good friend Morten. Grosso pitting in as well from the mediums. I think the Portuguese is gonna go on to the softs as well. Gonna be a tough spot though for Martin to come back from 10th place here. 20 laps of running left. Ryan, oh, with a bit of a troublesome exit from turn 5. That's gonna cost a bit of time. Sparks seems to be awfully steady at the moment. Stick seems to have a little bit of trouble getting past, but it's still steady within the slipstream, around 7/10 of a second down. And a bit of a gap down to T5 and Welsh in the next couple of places. Så lad os se, om Morten kan få noget af at rykke på Jimmy her. That sounds like something you'd see on the Danish Touring Car Championship, to be honest. Which is a thing. That's actually a thing. Don't discount it. That joking aside, Martin going at Jimmy now. It's going to be an interesting fight. Jimmy is down in 9th place on a fresh set of hards. Martin just out the pits on a fresh set of softs. That clearly explains which of those drivers are in the best position. And Flashen better. Martin on the inside now. I don't think there's... Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, is he actually gonna beat it? No, he's actually gonna save it, and then he's gonna get torpedoed, it seems. And they pick up damage. What was that even? From the onboard of Mr. Morten. Was that an actual handbrake turn? I think Martin just did a handbrake turn. Schosse is in 10th place now. On the softs as well. It's gonna be a fight to get up through here. Halbstack in 8th. Here in 7th, it's Dr. Hash. There's a long way up to the next bit of drivers here. Aura in 6th place. T5 in P5. Welsh in 4th, Stick in 3rd at the moment. Sparks is there in 2nd, still fighting along with Mr. Stick here. On with the Wang Cam we are from Sparks and the Denso machine. That's just dying fronts. The track of dying front lefts Fuji. So this battle for second place is now beginning to pick up. Fourth position GT Welsh as well, and the question is the Welshman just gonna be on a straight charge to get on past here? Interesting one. Welsh on the softs. Question if they're gonna last the remainder of the laps. For his sake, not quite sure, but it could be. No, a bit of a squirm there on the exit. That goes for both of them. And all the while, T5 is going to be attempting the catch-up. Although it would fulfill a lot if he were just to keep his position. Aura in 6th at the moment, and still Hash 7th. Halfstack 8th, Shossa 9th, Martin 10th, and Jimmy 11th. Then Ingrosso is down in 12th position at the moment. Here is Ryan nursing that around 2-second advantage. And the more they fight behind, well, the bigger that advantage is gonna get indeed. Now, those mediums are really looking blasted by now. And mind you also that Ryan started on the softs. It's gonna be on the hards for the end of the race. Not necessarily the best position to be in against the charging Welsh, who's now gotten past. That's just on braking into turn 5. Impressive stuff from Welsh. Really taking advantage of the superior grip, and now just swallowing up the grip, or the swallowing up the gap to Ryan that just disappeared in a corner or two. Those 2 seconds were absolutely gone, and it's just gonna be a question of get out the way. Get out the way, Ryan. Welsh is coming through. If I were Ryan, I'd certainly pit in immediately. He opts to stay out. That's a bit of a surprise to me. Sparks holding on to 3rd, and then Stick in 4th. And all these cars still in with a genuine shot of winning. But the strategies, well, the outcome of the different strategies is beginning to show by now. As we're into the final bits and bobs of the race. Around 15 laps to go here as Hash is pitting in. You could just get the chance to capture it on a set of hards here. No damage, very low fuel indeed. The question is, how much is he actually gonna need? That's 60% of a tank full. That's rejoining in 11th place on a set of softs now, and with a lot of making up to do for Dr. Hash. Although it could come good later in the stint for him. Here's Jimmy. Racing hards for Jimmy here as well. Martin on the softs, but carrying the damage from that Jimmy incident earlier on. Having a bit of a battle here with Shossa, and that's for P8. Halbstack is right in front of those two. And then there's a 10.5 second gap up to Aura in 6th place here. Welsh having really gotten the gap now. It's Ryan and Sparks going at it down behind, with the Stick looking to get involved. Stick, and that's a big send indeed as Ryan pits in. Stick gives it the full send into turn 1, but just about enough to actually get the better of Sparks in front. Let's have another look here. There it is, the move, and just about making it work. Sparks, though, insisting on staying ahead, doing a good job of actually pulling it off here. G5 up into 4th place with that latest pit stop from Ryan, who's rejoined in 6th. Aura in 5th place at the moment. But that is one close scrap indeed. And Ryan straight away grappling a hold of 5th place. Are they both on the hards now? No, they're on the mediums here, and Ryan on the softs. I think that's well, that would be a second set of softs for Ryan, if I'm not completely mistaken. That we'll have to look into later on. And Chasse up in 7th here. That's certainly not bad at all. So Welsh is really beginning to gain the advantage here. Stick get passed on Sparks before, and up into 2nd. That's certainly not bad. Although I think Sparks is gonna send it right back. Stick isn't gonna give him any room. A bit of a nudge. Give me any space whatsoever here. Let's have another look at that situation. On board from Sparks. Gets a really good run through turn 7. Oh, that's just... It's a bit of a Gandalf move. You shall not pass. You certainly shan't. Did Stick pick up a little bit of damage in that situation? That is a good question. No, he didn't. He was certainly running out of fuel before coming in here for his final pit stop. The question is, Welsh is also going to have a pit stop to go. And where's that going to leave Sparks on a set of hards? But I think that's going to be enough fuel necessarily either. What about T5? Might just be Sparks and T5 could be with enough fuel on to actually finish the race. Ryan is for sure gonna be able to finish the race. Could actually be the one in the lead position. Here come the end anyway. But then there's Aura, one stopping, and Aura with a relatively fresh set of mediums. Could be Aura as well. Chasse is up into 6th. That is just impressive. Running a car with that much ballast. And getting into a good position anyway. Martin is in P7 at the moment. Stick exiting the pits in 8th place. We've got Hash in 9th, Halbstack 10th, and Grosso 11th. And Jimmy is in 12th place. Welsh really extending the advantage. That's T5 pitting in from right about amidst the front duel there. Sparks. Oh, Sparks is on the hards. Ryan is on a set of soft. Did Ryan start on the softs? We can figure that out. I'm quite certain. Oh well, can't find that clip, but we'll have a look into it because, of course, no one shall be allowed to run 2 sets of softs. And if that's the case, Ryan, shame on you indeed. Welsh, though, with a very handy advantage all of a sudden of 11 seconds. That just came out of the blue, more or less. I think Welsh has the hearts left as well to run. Bit of fueling to do as well. Sparks pitting in at the same time here as Ryan is cruising by. Aura is going to be taking over second place. I think that depends on where Welsh is going to be exiting in all of this, and that's going to be close as they break into turn 1 because Welsh is on the inside here just as well. Just about holds on to second place. Schosse up into 4th. Martin right up into 5th, and then it's a big old gaggle here with the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th position. You know what? Sparks in 8th isn't too far behind either way. Now Schosse aiming to do 20 laps on the softs at the moment. There's about 10 of them laps left, and it looks pretty good for the German. And then it's Martin, T5, Stick, and Sparks. And this gaggle here, that Stick trying to send it up the inside of T5. A little bit just too aggressive. No Nico Rosberg here. That's Sparks on a set of softs as well. The question is, well. Ryan is in the lead by 8 seconds. To say, I remember it as though Ryan started on the softs, and there is a send from T5 up the inside of Martin, though I think the Dutchman is gonna get the run on the exit. So we have a very good view of the battle behind here from the wing cam of Schosse. And here is Stick, who's very much in the mix of things in behind. He's going to send it around the outside of T5 here through turn 5. And it isn't going to work. Oh, there's going to be a bit of a slam. No space for Stick to really rejoin. Stick getting a little muscly with the other cars here. Here yet again. Where did they just get reset? Where did they just go? I think they did just get reset. Let's have a look at here what happened to Martin as he went all the way to... They went too wide. Too wide indeed. And they paid the cost. Literally. It's Ryan now running away with it. But if that is 2 sets of soft used, that's gonna go penalized. Welsh, though, comfortably now in second with the Aura on the chase down. Schusse, though. Schusse is aiming for a podium place, coming from, what was that, 10th on the grid? 12th, perhaps even? Nevertheless, it's hugely impressive. Starting on the hards, running a rather long middle stint as well. Or was that on the mediums all the way through? I don't even remember. But it's the softs at the moment here, and I think it was the hards, then a short stint over to the mediums, and now a long one on the softs here at the end. And at the moment, shots are really quickly chasing down Aura. There's Stick there right on the tail as well. Sparks up into 6th place now. T5 is in 7th and Martin 8th. After that bit of a coming incident there before. Here, Halbstack and Dr. Hash. Of course, Halbstack in the coffee machine. In the bean. Hey, what's up? What's up, Armored Core? Amako, I think what you mean is that you're in a man-child's world, to be honest. Since this is that's really what this is all about. A world of man-children. And if I say this is a world of man-children connecting with actual children, that just sounds very, very wrong indeed. We're just gonna stop it right there. Ryan is leading, and it's now really growing that advantage. It's 11.8 seconds. Should be enough gasolina in that car to get it to the end. Welsh is consolidating what is for now second. Stick and Sparks still in a close scrap there. Schusse haven't fallen down the order into 5th place now. That's a bit of an advantage there. Oh, Ryan pitting in. And that's the hot compound of tires coming on for Ryan. Now I wonder, it doesn't really make sense here at 7 laps before the end of the race, being that he actually, well, he did start on the softs, so he has used 2 sets of softs, and I think he will get a pending disqualification for that, or at least a time penalty. We'll have to see what the stewards decide on. I cannot tell for sure here. Welsh is now, or still, man in second. Stick is really defending hard from a charging Sparks. Sparks, who I think did that long stint on the mediums early on, could have then done a stint on the hards to then get on the softs here later on and be on the charge now. Into the final corner, looking for the run on TSR Stick. I think this time around he has got it. gonna be the bump draft. Cheeky indeed, as they're trying to catch up to the drivers in front. This could indeed be the best strategy. And Sparks is waiting, not sending it yet. And that means the battle goes on. And he's just trying to break away from Schosse in behind. That's a good question. Indeed, Schosse seems to be suffering under the heavy success ballast that he's been taxed with after having such a string of great results. Of course, the championship leader. Leading this one is Ryan. There's 5 laps to go. Welsh is chasing in second. And then it's Stick and Battle Sparks following their ride on the bumper, more or less. They're still so closely mixed in with each other. Sparks looking for a way through, not really finding it yet. The question is, if he's just trying to use Stick to catch up on Welsh in the end. Very good question. I think we're gonna see more bump drafting this time around. Maybe only until Stick is finding some slipstream of his own from Welsh's car. The fact that they managed not to take #RealBurb to take each other out in those braking zones. Oh, the heartbreaking zones. It of course stems from actually having Google to translate, and not only translate but the text, what is the subtitle, YouTube subtitles on some of our old videos into the heartbreaking zone, which of course became the heartbreaking zone. Stick holding on to third at the moment, but it's under heavy pressure from Sparks, but they've done well to catch up actually to Welsh in front. Welsh in turn is also catching up to Ryan, and it could all come together here on the final couple of laps. This trio, for once, it has to be said, really has. And then it is a bit of a gap down to Schosse, seems to be suffering here. T5 is now attacking, and the Swede is going for P5 here at the final stages of the race. So shall the prophecy come true here as the move from the Swedish survivor through the final corner? But of course, exit speed is all important here, and T5 doesn't exactly gain the run on Schosse here. The crossover there is a bit of overlap this time around. Stick here now going for second place as they both get the better of Welsh down the straight here. We get a bit of a train running. And Stick takes second, Sparks takes third, Welsh is down into fourth place, and in the end that might actually have been Sparks hopping up into second. Indeed, that is Sparks grabbing a hold of second place late in proceedings, and now look, the advantage of Ryan up ahead seems to be disappearing. It's down to 3 seconds now. The question is, can Sparks get the necessary piece to actually run up there and catch Ryan up ahead? Or will it even be necessary if it turns out that Ryan did indeed use 2 sets of soft tires? And surely there'll be a time penalty for him that'll invalidate his actual result in the end. I think Sparks is doing a very good job of just shaking off Stick and Welsh. Look at this supremely fast through that final sector. With 3 more laps to go, and Sparks, who's gained 0.7 of a second through that final sector alone. Well, if that kind of pattern continues, it certainly isn't too late. Sparks could go get in there. Look at that 1.8 second. The advantage is really crumbling, it seems, for TSR Ryan. The question is Ryan now over pushing it ever so slightly? It's down to 1.8 seconds. Get in there, Sparks. Well, really though, go through ahead. There's 3 laps of racing left, and it's all coming together. Our top 4 within just a couple of seconds here at the end of the race. Mind you, Sparks is running a set of only slightly worn softs as on a personal best lap time, 0.4 of a second up on anything he's done at any other point of this race, and that is why the gap is diminishing so quickly up to Ryan at this moment. This is gonna be it. I think Sparks is gonna make the catch, and I think it's gonna happen sooner rather than later, because it's really coming down quickly. Ryan making mistakes. Now left, right, and center really feeling the pressure. And before he's gonna know it, Sparks is gonna be within the slipstream. And 4 cars within the space of 4 seconds here. Our top 4 runners. Now Ryan having gotten caught by Sparks, and the battle is on. And he'll now have to defend on a set of hards against someone on a set of softs for 2 whole laps, which seems like an almost impossible task. What's up, Swift Chaos? Nice to have you along. Welcome to everyone tuning in at this late stage of the race. We're on the penultimate lap. The heat is really on, and I think this time around Sparks is having the run on the outside of Ryan. They're very much too wide, very much side by side. Coming down towards turn 7 here, it's underneath the bridge. Ryan, oh, he goes for the plug, and they make a little bit of contact. And no damage to the cars. Ryan very low on fuel at this point as well. The pressure is very much still on here. Sparks is positioning his car to get the better run here through this sector, up towards the final corner. Does Ryan have the grip to do anything about the Toyota behind? I'm not quite sure. I think this is it, as Sparks has the run coming onto the final lap, taking the lead. Brilliant stuff there from Battle Sparks to grab the lead at such an important point of the race. That's like watching Italian football in the 90s, always a goal in overtime. This is the racing equivalent of a goal in overtime. And next up is going to be TSR Stick, also to have a go at Ryan here within half a second now. I don't think Welsh is going to get up there as well. And here comes the absolute send there from Stick. A determined move indeed. Well, the space was there, and the grip was there to take advantage of it. It was a very nice one in the end. Ricardo-esque, if ever I've seen a send down the inside there of turn 3 from TSR Stick. Now through turn 7 they come, and it looks like it is gonna be Battle Sparks running away with it. Stick's gonna finish, it seems, by the looks of it, in second, with the TSR completing the 2 lower steps of the podium, with Ryan there in third. But after an absolutely brilliant race, Barton Sparks of TX3 LDLC wins this race, and it's been a deserved win after a brilliant performance indeed, with Stick grabbing second there. I think Ryan going off the podium, perhaps because he knows that he used too many sets of softs in the end. It's P5 for T5, Sick for Scharse. And I think it's going to be Martin coming home for second, 7, of course, right in front of Aura there in 8th place. Halstag, Hash, Jimmy, and then it's going to be Grosso coming home for 12th place here in the end. So we're going to do a bit of... We're gonna do a moment of bouncy heads. We're gonna grab a hold of a party. We're gonna get it started in here. Let's get I'm just gonna invite our podium finishers for the day, and in the end that's Stick, Welsh and Sparks. So that's an all British top 3 in the end. What's up, Welsh? Then we have Sparks as well. Let's just take it from the top tonight. Sparks, what a race. What a finale there to grab the lead on the penultimate lap. Your thoughts on the whole debacle?
Well, I didn't think of a strategy coming into this race. So I just started on mediums and see where that would take me through this race. And because Aura and Welsh are battling so hard, I managed to stay up with them so I could extend the stint, and it ended up working out in the end, somewhat surprisingly. But yeah, very happy with the win. It was an awesome race.
Indeed, and well, I actually took it that because it looked rather deliberate with the strategy, but well, it turns out it wasn't. I think a lot of the other drivers have been thinking rather much about which strategy has been turning out to be the fastest. We've seen drivers both starting on the hards, having great success on some tracks. We've seen some tracks where it was quicker to start on the softs. What are your thoughts about what makes the most sense in these situations?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What do you think makes the most sense in terms of strategy? Going earlier for the pace on softs, or holding back, keeping the pace for later, starting on the mediums or on the hards and then keeping the softs for later in the race, as you did today?
I guess it just depends how the race goes. And yeah, luck plays a part in it as well. So I was thinking of starting on softs, but I thought if I didn't have a good first stint, it would have been wasted. So that's why I took a chance of starting with the mediums. So I guess luck plays a part in it.
Well, indeed, and well, thanks for answering my German F1 journalist who always answers or always asks some improbably long questions. Anyways, I can't remember his name, but I managed actually to phrase one of his questions tonight. I'm quite proud of myself in the end. Yeah. Anyways, Sparks, congratulations on a great race, on a great result, on a great win, and see you in 2 weeks for the final round of the GT86 Cup. And with that said, let's hop on to our second place finisher, Mr. Stick. What a finale of the race there. Quite a bit of heated battling from your side over those final couple of laps. You seem to really fight with nail and claw for each and every position today. Was that how you felt out there?
It was tough. It was a very tough competition. I actually accidentally took Martin and Dan out, I think. But I have to have a look at it, because I thought I had the inside line and I caught the back of Martin and then just went flying.
Well, that's what happens in racing. And
Yeah.
just a quick question: were you any of you in a radio chat with Ryan during the race?
Yeah.
And did he use 2 sets of softs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's that. So he wanted to escape the post-race interviews, not go on the podium and leave it up like that.
Yeah. He ran out of fuel actually.
Oh, he ran out of fuel. Oh, that's a good excuse. Anyway, I was just gonna finish off for Stick. Congrats on a good race. Congrats on a very nice result with a second place and a podium finish here, and a strong finish to the season, it seems, on your part. And that leads us to instead of a no fuel Ryan, we have Welsh. Did you? It seems you're a little bit surprised to be here on the podium in the end.
No, it was a good race. I've not been taking racing that seriously lately. Just messing about, having fun, trying to annoy Martin all the time. So, but I thought I'll have a proper go at this one, and it was going well. I was going for a 1 stop, and then I realised 20 laps in that wasn't going to happen. So, me and Aura had a good battle. I dragged the mediums out for ages, and then after I pitted, it was like I had 200 horsepower over everyone else with the softs. It was cool, and then everyone overtook me on the hard, so I'm devastated. But it's all good. It was good. Enjoyed it.
It was good to hear, Welsh, and congrats on the podium finish and a nice race. Once going for it, that means there is obviously some skill in behind there. Hashtag real burp. Thanks for thanks for joining me for these post-race interviews. The pleasure, as always, is very much mine. And thanks for organizing, to you guys as well. And I think with that said, I'm gonna decapitate the stream for tonight. And before decapitating the stream, there's just one more thing, or perhaps two, I'd like to say to you. First of all, if you like what we do here on Half the Race Gone, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, well, consider subscribing if you want to see more GT Sport coverage in this kind of direction, or maybe some iRacing streaming, or some Dirt Rally, or all the other good stuff that we do here on Half the Race Gone. And with that said, it's been a pleasure having you along. My name is DirtenDK, and here on Half the Race Gone, until next time, take care, have fun, and bye-bye.